everyone. So I just recently finished watching the new live action Netflix adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and in this review I'm going to be sharing my opinions of what I thought about this new adaptation, how I think it stacks up to the original show. So before we get into it, I guess I should maybe just discuss how I I first watched the original show. So I didn't watch Avatar: The Last Airbender when it originally aired on Nickelodeon in the mid to late 2000s. I actually didn't watch it until 2020, at the start of the coronavirus pandemic, where it came on Netflix. And since I was locked in my own home, it gave me a lot of time just to sit down and watch shows. And Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of those shows that I watched for the first time. And it was great because I didn't have to wait 2 years for the other two seasons to come out, or watch it on a weekly occasion. I could just binge it from beginning to end. And I finished it in about 4 or 5 weeks, and I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time with that show. I was surprised of just how good it was, of the world building, the storytelling, and the unconventional magical system. But before Avatar, I only knew as magic as Harry Potter and spells and things like that. But Avatar put a different spin on the magical system, which at a first glance might seem a bit strange to have magic around the elements, if that really is magic. But it's more like a kung fu / magic style. But anyway, you already know what I think of the show. The original show, I did a review on it about 4 months ago, but this is about the new 8-episode adaptation of the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it is highly likely that they're going to continue season 2 and 3 maybe a year or two from now. But overall, this is what I thought about it. So overall, I actually thought this adaptation was actually quite good. They actually did get a lot of things right in this adaptation. They basically, I thought they pretty much got everything right. It's miles better than the Shyamalan movie, that's for sure. I mean, the Shyamalan movie got everything wrong and pissed off every fan. But this adaptation, I can see maybe not every original Avatar fan liking it, but I kind of have a feeling that the majority will accept it and will like it, because the actors in this adaptation are actually really good and really do put a lot of effort into into every single one of the characters that they've been assigned to, and they are basically almost identical and basically so faithful to the way the original characters were. And it almost felt like a seamless transition. Now, I don't know any of the actors' names yet, but I thought that the actors that played Aang, Katara, and Sokka were actually really good. Sokka was very much like he was in the original show and not like in the movie. Katara and Aang were very similar in the way they behaved in the original show. And Zuko did a good job as well, the actor who played Zuko. And Iroh's a funny one, because something I noticed right at the bat with Uncle Iroh in this adaptation is that his voice doesn't sound really anything like the way it did in the original. His original voice was a lot more husky, a lot more kind of dry, and and quite frankly, a lot more Asian sounding. He was the only character in the entire show that didn't have an American accent. While in this show, he does sort of have an Americanish accent, ish, but he doesn't have the same voice. He kind of, he does sound very different, but he still has the same personality, I would guess. He still has that same wisdom and that same, mentorship over Zuko, and that same just that same wisdom in everything he does, and how he's very different from all the other members of the Fire Nation. He's more of a rebel, and he's not a fan of the Fire Nation's traditions and practices, and tries just to be his own person, which I appreciate from the character. But yeah, I thought he did a good job as well. So there really wasn't any character in the show I didn't really like. All of them, every actor seemed to do a really good job. The Kyoshi warriors were really good as well. I really liked their choreography. I love their makeup. The costume design in this show is actually really good as well. It's much better than even in the show. I always thought that the the costume design for the Fire Nation in the original show was a bit too simplistic. It's just kind of just, you know, red panels of armor. There's not really much to it. But in this show, the costume design is a lot more detailed than it was in the original show. There's a lot more like patterns, a lot more fabric, a lot more thought and design that was put into the robes that they wear in this show. So I appreciated that too. So now that I think that the actors are really good and have all that out of the way, so how's the story? So basically the story of this adaptation is almost identical to the book one of the original show, but it still feels a bit more compressed. I mean, the episodes are now 40 to 50 minutes long instead of 22 minutes for each episode, which was the standard for cartoons back then. But like, instead of having 22 episodes that are 22 minutes long, it now has only 8, which are about 40, 50 minutes long. So they try and cram a lot more story into each episode as what they did before. Though I did still feel that they did still do it reasonably well, and even though there was a lot of stuff that was cut out, the stuff that they kept in was still really good. I mean, I keep on forgetting if this is in the first season or the second season, but they go to like this ancient swamp and has like this sacred tree, and there's a guy that says like time is an illusion and so is death, but that wasn't in this season. Maybe they'll save that for season 2. But yeah, basically all the major story arcs that happened in season 1 are still put in this season. There's the tale of two lovers, the people with the guitars and flowers make a small appearance, though I wish they were in it for a little bit longer. I also really liked how they kind of delved deeper into Aang's backstory with Monk Gyatso and like his relationship with Monk Gyatso, like as his mentor. I felt like this adaptation kind of did tell a little bit more about that story, about how he was with his mentor in like his past life 100 years before the events of the show. I know the original show talked about that too, but I felt that in this version it was done a bit better and it was a bit more thorough and like in depth about kind of like the origins of like Aang and his past life and how he feels responsible for like the mass genocide of his tribe, which it's told in the show it wasn't his fault and it was always meant to happen. So I did kind of like how they kind of touched upon that plot point a bit more than they did in the original show. The bending in the show was actually very well done. It was, again, miles better than the 2010 movie. The choreography was on point. It was very, you can see that they were doing a lot of practice of getting like the kung fu styles right. A lot of their motion and a lot of their fighting style, it was shot very well. The camera work was also very good. It wasn't shaky. It was very clear and very well directed. Overall, I'm trying to think of if anything bad about this show, but to be honest, I can't really think of much. They were very faithful and very respectful to the original show. It seemed that all the actors were very passionate about the original show and they were really having fun playing these roles that they probably really liked when they were younger. I don't think every actor probably was like this, but I have a feeling that the actors that played Aang, Katara and Sokka were probably definitely fans of the original show back in the day. I'm not sure about the villains like Ozai and Azula. Azula does make a few appearances in this season, but it's very obvious that her character is going to be left to later to really flesh out, just like it was in the original show. Ozai was extremely intimidating. He was he was evil. He was very nasty. He was very dominating, which is just like he was in the show. The costume design was great. The Fire Nation looked great. It still looks evil and really unpleasant, which is the way it's supposed to look. All of the different factions have a very good production design. The production design in the show was off the charts. It was just really, really good. Overall, I had a really good time with this adaptation. I haven't looked up or done any research of like how other people have reacted to it, so this is just me blindly giving you my opinion before going out onto the internet and seeing what people really thought about this adaptation. But in my opinion, I thought it was great. So I highly recommend that you should see this if you're a fan of Avatar. It's worth your time, and it's fun, and it's entertaining. I also liked how they brought back like the beatboxing mouth noises in the credits, just like they did in the original show, but it's longer and they extend on it and they put some like orchestral stuff at the end, which is great, and then it kind of just like suddenly cuts without the song finishing. I mean, it shows like the end credits logos and the song keeps on going, then it just cuts like that, which is a bit weird, but anyway, that's what I think about this new adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I hope you liked what I had to say about it. Thank you for supporting the channel and watching my videos as always, and take care. Thank you.
So I go about my day as normal, but I can't seem to pass it off as just a random event. It consumes me. I thought I was moving on, but I guess I was just switching off. And now I see my life as the banal slog it instantly became, and I don't know if I can go on the same. But I don't want to dig up old bones. I mean, I don't even know if she has the same phone